Welcome to Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, back with another episode, y'all. I got another surprise for y'all now. It's another prank call from Joe. This time, I'm going to be calling a family member of a parolee, somebody that's just been released from prison. I'm going to call the family member, and this family member is going to allow this guy to stay with them. I'm going to call the family member and tell them, what they can expect and all of these types of things about their loved one and just see how they respond to it, right? And again, like I say, all my shows are about being educational and entertaining. I want you to get a kick out of this, but I want you to also pay attention to some of the things that parolee has to go through and the family members of the parolee, right? So with that said, y'all kick back and relax. I'm going to go ahead and make that call for me.
Hello?
Hello, may I speak to Mr. Jackson, please?
Speaking, he's speaking.
How you doing, Mr. Jackson?
How you doing? How about you?
I'm good, I'm good. My name is Joe Hawkins from the parole office in Nashville, Tennessee.
Joe Hawkins?
Yes, sir, Joe Hawkins. I'm your nephew's parole officer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I wanted to call and talk to you a little bit about what we expect out of you, because you've agreed, according to our paperwork that your nephew turned in, you're going to allow him to stay with you during his parole?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
They've already done a search of the house, so everything is good, and there are no weapons, no drugs, or anything like that. Everything seems to be in order. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He has his own room and things like that, right?
Okay. Yes, he do.
Okay. I want to run a few things down to you that you may not be aware of. Your nephew's done 15 years in prison, right?
Yeah, long time. Yeah.
It's a long time.
Yes,
And from my understanding, our records show that you've never been incarcerated.
Oh, no, son.
Yeah, so you spot clean. John Q. citizen.
Right on.
All of that. Never had a traffic ticket.
Never.
So you really have no idea what being incarcerated would do to the mind. I just wanted to tell you a few things that you might need to be aware of and expect out of your nephew so that you won't be surprised at some of the things that you might hear him say or do, okay?
Okay.
Now, first of all, let me go down some of the parole conditions. Of course, you know that he's not allowed to have any weapons, not allowed to use any drugs, drink alcohol. He has to be in the house before 9 p.m. every night and have a job. I understand that you got him a job lined up and he's going to be working. Okay, good. Okay, now let me get straight to something that I think that you really need to be aware of, okay?
Okay.
By him being locked up for 15 years, we do this thing that they call a strong R, right? And it's really an assessment of the individual that is incarcerated, right? We do a psychological assessment on them to see how they're doing mentally. We talk about the crime, why they did it, all of the things that we need to go over with an individual like this so we can get a good picture of that person to do what we can do to help them, okay?
Okay.
Now, your nephew, he has shown a propensity at times to be impulsive, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and that leads us to believe that he may have a slight case of PTSD.
PTSD?
It's post-traumatic stress disorder, right? So at times, it has been observed by his former cellmates and the officers that worked the pod that he would wake up in the middle of the night with screaming fits, right? So if you hear your nephew waking up in the middle of the night, he's just screaming out loud, don't be alarmed at that. What we need you to do at that time is to go in the room that he's in and console him, talk him through that. And if you can't talk him through that, then what we would ask you to do is to contact us so we can get him some help. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. And another thing that I don't think a lot of people in your position understand, he's been regimented the whole time he's been incarcerated, okay? Meaning he has a strict schedule to go by, right? So when your wife cooks and prepares the meal, whoever cooks and prepares the meal, you might from time to time need to yell out, "Chow call," okay? Because in prison, that's the language that they're used to using in here, used to hearing. Chow call. They don't talk, they don't say time to eat dinner, time to eat lunch. It's chow time. So we need you to ease him into the language of the streets. You feel what I'm saying? So would you mind from time to time when you finish preparing the meal or your wife finish preparing the meal, could you or her yell out, "Chow time"?
I don't know nothing about all that. Chow call.
Yeah, but that's the language that they use in prison when somebody's locked up. They don't understand after they've been locked up for a while. I want you to understand that they don't really understand the language that you'll be using. So it might be times where he's just sitting in the room, he knows the food is being prepared, but he'll just wait until somebody says, you can come and eat it.
That sounds a little better. You can come and eat it. That don't,
No, but he may need to hear the words child call. You might need to explain to him that it's time to have dinner. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else? What y'all got? What y'all done did to him? Y'all sound like y'all done did a number on him.
No.
Shit. You talking about you got to call child call? What?
Well, that's one of the things that can happen to you when you're in prison for a long time. You become regimented and you get into this routine.
Right on.
Child call. They don't get to make decisions for themselves in here. They go by the schedule that is put out every day, and they go by their schedule, strictly by their schedule. They don't get to make decisions in here. We tell them when they can eat. We tell them when they go lock down for the night. We tell them everything that they need to do so that they'll be able to function on the outside in a way that they won't be violating the rules. We just need you to help him reacclimate to society. You think you can do that?
Well, look, if y'all done acclimated him and y'all helping him, then why y'all didn't help him with all those things before you put him back in my custody? Because I don't know nothing about all that. I know child call, and he got to be having, saying somebody to come hold his hand and console him. Shit, I barely console my wife. What you talking about? Console him? Man, that's a man. What is you meaning? Console him? He in there, man, what?
Well, maybe that's a strong word, console, but I do need you to be patient with him. You got to remember, he's been locked up for 15 years. When he came into the system, he was 21. He's still a child.
I understand all that stuff, but okay, now you got too many conditions that you trying to put me up on. Now I know I signed the
You've
contract,
already agreed
but look,
to these
I
conditions,
think I'm finna be void on this here contract right here. Look, I think, hey, y'all, if
you void
me,
the contract, then your nephew can't come home. Don't you want your nephew to come home?
Yeah, I want him home though. I want him home. But if y'all got all these things, these strong guards, you talking about some strong guards. If y'all that strong with your strong guard, you should have been strong enough, know what I'm saying, to make sure that he didn't have to have none of those things. Just let him come on in there. You got a room to himself. Now, know what, man, I ain't finna be doing no child hall, and I ain't finna be doing no consoling. So what you gonna do? Y'all gonna come down here and help him out? Cause you didn't help him all this way. You helped him. Well, y'all said y'all helped him, right?
Well, now the time is for the family to step up. And that's what you've agreed to. And one more thing that I need to mention to you, too, about the contract that you signed since you brought it up. If your nephew stays out too late, we need you to get up, go out and get him and bring him back into the house. For every night that he's late getting back in the contract that you signed to allow him to come home, we'll be fining you $25 for every time that he's out past his curfew. And we'll be able to deduct that from your paycheck, so you won't even have the ability to stop that from happening. So you've already agreed to this, so it would behoove you to be more attentive to your nephew, making sure that he complies with all the rules and regulations of his parole.
Hey, man, you talking about something to behoove me. You talking about messing with my money. You talking about taking some money out of my pocket that have no dealing. I don't deal with the prison. I ain't committed no crime. You mean taking somebody, bringing them in the house, that you just let the man out? How you don't want the man to be free? What is you? And then you talking about taking my money? Sir, listen, it's hard out here. It is hard out here. Know what I'm saying? Baby need a pair of new shoes. Know what I'm saying? My wife need a diamond ring. All kind of things. Look, you ain't even get no. You get $25 a month. You gonna take this contract and I'm gonna stick it up where your sun don't shine.
Sir, I understand that you might be getting a little upset. You may not have understood what you were signing.
I'm more than upset.
The whole point of this.
More than upset, sir.
The whole point of this is to make sure that your nephew is successful on parole.
Hey.
Don't you want your nephew to be successful on parole?
I want him to be successful. I want him to be out. I don't want him to be caged in like a bird. But look, he need to be free. Now, you talking about taking my money and talking about bringing him in. Hey, man, let the man do his thing, man. He free. Leave him alone. Let him go out there and live with the birds. What?
He's free on parole, sir. Parole is not a right, it's a privilege. He's free on parole, and he still has some years that he owes the state. That's why we got to keep watching him. That's why we're relying on you to help us do that. And if he commits any crimes, we are relying on you to report that to us as well.
Listen, I done
Do you
did
have a
all
problem?
the
Do you have a
reporting.
problem
I
with
done
that?
did all the reporting on the report. I put my name on the dotted line. Let him come stay in my house. Y'all said y'all got him straight. Y'all said y'all know me. Make sure that he was on point. That he got everything that he needed. Y'all got him lined up. Y'all gave him any pills, anything. Y'all did a strong on him. So if you did a strong on him, he should be strong. He shouldn't need that no more. He should be rehabilitated. Did you help him out? Do he know how to do activities? Cause
We helped him as
I
much
ain't
as
seen him.
we helped him
I ain't
as
seen
much.
him since he been out. I ain't seen him.
We're-
And you better not mess with my check either. I'm gonna come to your office and be asking you about your check.
Well, you signed the contract, sir. There's nothing that you can really do to me about that.
Shit, the hell
You've
you
already
say?
signed the contract, so
The
we're not
hell?
worried about that. Let me point one more thing out to you, sir, because I see now that you're getting upset.
I'm getting
one of
hella
the
upset.
things,
I'm getting hella upset.
One of the biggest reasons that
I'm
a
gonna
lot
have
of
a set
people
come over there to get you. You better quit playing.
Well, I'm in Nashville, sir.
Well,
I'm in
shit,
Nashville.
I'm gonna be right there in a minute. What's your address? Cause you got mine. It's on the contract. What's your address? Cause somebody finna be pulling up with you. You talking about taking some money out of my check. I'm thinking about this money. You talking about taking out my check. You finna.
It ain't for $25, sir.
Man,
It ain't for $25.
$25 can do.
It ain't for $25.
Man,
You
I
signed the
can eat out
contract.
$25 for a whole week. You better not mess with that check. You better not touch $25. I'm talking about. Listen, I'm gonna send his ass back up in there with you. Hey, you can get him, man. You can come get him now. Look, I'm finna. Who I need to call?
Hey,
Give me somebody to
sir,
call.
Sir, I got one more question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a show called Doing Time with Joe? Have you ever heard of that show? It's a podcast show run by an inmate.
The guy that's on the thing on the YouTube with what?
Yeah. You've heard of it.
Yeah, I heard of it.
That's me, sir. That's me. This is not a
Why
real
you
call.
Call my house, give me my blood pressure shot up like this here, man. Hey, man, come on now.
I called
man, listen,
you.
Man.
I called you just so I use shows like this to try to educate the public about different issues related to people in prison, man. And I just want to thank you for playing along with me on this, man. I know you're upset right now, but you could calm down. Ain't nobody gonna take no money from you.
Man, you fuck with that check.
Ain't nobody gonna take no money
with
from
Joe, doing time with your brother or your sister. You fuck with that check, man. Hey, Joe,
ain't nobody
don't fuck around. I'm telling you
Ain't
now.
nobody gonna take your money, man. Ain't nobody gonna take your money.
Okay,
I
cool,
appreciate
man.
I appreciate you.
Man, don't you call them folks out like that no more, man. Don't do that.
No, I gotta keep doing it right. I gotta keep doing it.
Man, don't call them people out doing that stuff, Joe.
That's what's up. This has been I appreciate you, brother. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.